I just seen something so goofy it rivals that of what I used to watch on Looney Tunes, and it's this story here where a Google Street View car was involved in a 100-mile-an-hour police chase before it crashed into a creek. And you can see the picture here of it being pulled out of the creek by a crane. If Twitter would want to load, potentially, maybe, just load a little bit. Or just keep circle to add another circle to the screen. Actually, just circle twice. That's what I want you to do. Anyways, here we go. Here's the Google Street View car being pulled up out of there. Out of the muddy water that it crashed into after leading a high-speed chase. And apparently this all took place in a small town in Indiana, so that's probably the most action they've seen since their local corn festival, or I don't even know, does Indiana have corn? I'm from West Virginia. I have no right to speak. We have incest conventions, but regardless, it happened in a little town in, I just said the state, in Indiana on this past Monday. And they said the Street View car was a Honda HR-V with a big old camera mounted on top, which is standard protocol for the Google Street View cars. And it said it was passing other vehicles, traveling at a speed of over 100 miles per hour as it refused to pull over, police said, and then the car ran a red light and eventually drove into a creek after failing to negotiate a turn. And apparently it's also unclear if the driver, whose name was Coleman Ferguson, was injured during the crash. I don't know how you mix up how you're unclear if the dude's injured in the crash. If he was going 100 miles an hour, I'm sure he's at least got a little boo-boo on his knee or something. He scraped up his ankle at the very least. The dude, you could, it's fair to say that he was injured, at least a tiny bit. No one crashes at 100 miles an hour and is completely okay. But after his little Michael Scott fiasco where he just drove straight into a body of water, they took him to the hospital, and after they, questioned him, evaluated him, whatnot, he told police that he worked for Google and was scared to stop. So maybe like some Google employee, some Google hitman had like a gun to the back of his head and said, "You better not stop. We need to get these Google Street View pictures. You stop, you're dead. Your brains get splattered all over this windshield, buckaroo." And I can only imagine they surely can't use those pictures now that he was taking for the Google Street View because he's going 100 miles an hour. It's just going to be blurs. It's going to be like you're looking from the Flash POV. There's no way those are usable images. The pictures of the cars and the police car that's chasing him is going to be like super stretched out and long and blurry because of just the absurd speed he was going through. But it also would be pretty funny to see the story. It's like you're flipping through a picture book. Each page you turn, the police car is just following behind him, and then he's slowly going towards a body of water, a little creek or a ditch or whatever he went into, and then he crashes in, and it all of a sudden just stops. You see the police car behind him, and then the car is just in water. God, that's just, it's probably funnier in my head than it actually is, but I really want to see those pictures. Release the pictures! This guy was trying to add a new addition to the Google Street View and make it Google Street Racing View. It's absolutely absurd. But it's insane that he said he was scared to stop. That's some insane, either he's really dedicated to the job or really scared of the people who hired him at Google, which both are pretty plausible. Anyways, it says Ferguson is being charged with resisting law enforcement with a vehicle, a level 6 felony. That, level 6 felony, let me look that up real quick because I have no idea. I was about to try to explain it and lie to you, act like I knew what that was, but I have no clue what a level 6 felony is. A level 6 felony in Indiana, for some reason it knows I'm looking at Indiana. It says it's theft and also battery, depending on the circumstances, domestic violence. So it's a pretty serious sentence. It's not up there with murder, but it's like a level or two down, which is pretty severe. He probably will get slapped with a little hefty sentence. This ain't just going to be like a little slap on the wrist. He's probably going to see some jail time. But now Google, of course, had to respond because this does have their name smeared all over it. They said, quote, "We partner with contractors to drive and collect imagery," they told Insider in a statement. "We take the safety of our Street View operations very seriously, and we're committed to working with the contracted company and local authorities to ensure the proper actions are taken to address this situation." So that's just your standard boilerplate, standard template, business response, company response, trying to save face. You never actually get anything besides, "We take safety and our operations very seriously, and we will handle this situation." It's the same thing every time. They switch a couple adjectives and whatnot, but it's the same Same idea that's coming across. I would rather them just tell me the truth or tell me that they genuinely don't care than just give me this nonsense, because this feels like a more of a spit in the face at this point than them just saying, screw you, we don't care. Anyways, that's pretty much the whole situation. The fun part of the story is already over. It's him going 100 miles an hour and then crashing into a ditch. That is the goofy part, and that's what I wanted to talk about, because I actually read this story like 2 days ago on my lunch break, and it was so funny to me. It was giving me some hearty little belly laughs. I was chuckling like I was watching Cartoon Network all over again, or watching SpongeBob SquarePants on a Saturday morning. Just nothing better than a silly story like this. And nobody was hurt. Nobody was killed at the end of the day, so you can laugh at it even more. Point fingers at, what's his name, Craig Ferguson? Coleman Ferguson? Just point fingers at him, go, ha ha, goofball, you doofus. What are you thinking? Funny story though, glad you did it because I can laugh at you, and I'll catch you at the next video.